Kuzu Zangpo and a very warm welcome to Bhutan This Week. I am Namgyo Wangchuk and our top stories. The Royal Monetary Authority suspended its Deputy Governor Edun Dema. The recent windstorm in Lunana damaged 80 houses including government structures. And the second local government elections will be held on 25th January. The Royal Monetary Authority suspended Edun Dema, one of its deputy governors. The Anti-Corruption Commission had asked the governor of Central Bank to suspend her service with immediate effect. She is accused of manipulation and tampering of documents, which resulted in overpayment of some $420. The commission says it had to take the decision mainly to carry out the investigation of her alleged corrupt practices without hindrance. ACC knew about this through an anonymous informer in October in 2014. However, ACC maintains that suspension does not have to be construed as being guilty. 80 houses, including government structures, have been reportedly damaged by the recent windstorm in Lunana Gyeok in Gaza. And to assess the situation, the Foreign Affairs Minister Damchu Doji visited the Gyeok recently.
Roof of 10 houses in Thangsa and Tenche villages were completely blown away by the windstorm on Saturday afternoon.
Luma sube ben ta atsi ta chimporang yeni jum nyangeni ka hyusita
tanga tarite ngarang chimdi ta deuro matuba mi deuro matuba te chimdi lumak te kenge be tumba kanemi zo te tangara rogi chimchachina te toana sa sha na nyebe te duyuta.
The windstorm, which lasted for about 3 hours, also damaged over 50 solar panels. An extended classroom, outreach clinic and early flood warning office also suffered damages. Lempo Damchidoji visited each affected household. He assured government's full support in their relief efforts. On behalf of the government, the foreign minister also handed over tarpaulin sheets to be distributed among the 10 affected families.
담마라 같이 주디 공이 침도서 록 레진베 양주변이기 때문에 신기기도디 같이 안니디 내가 저기 공 경인 중미기.
The most important thing for them is timber. So based on the extent of damage, the government will be providing them timber kido. Today in the helicopter, we could manage to bring only 10 tarpaulin sheet. We will give it to those affected severely. For the rest, we will access and distribute soon.
An official from the Royal Insurance Corporation of Bhutan also visited the area to assess the damage for insurance claims. Lunana Gup Kimbutsring said all 77 affected households were insured.
Regarding the insurance, I don't think there is going to be any problem. By practice, it is given in a week or two's time, so people are expecting it can be claimed within this period.
He added no damages were reported from other 4 chiuks in the Gyeok. There are 195 households in Lunana. Compiled for Ishalindup Taralimbu for BBS News.
The second local government elections for the 3 Thomdes of Thimphu, Phuntsling and Gyalfu will be held on 25th January. The incumbent Thompas or Tsokpas wishing to recontest will have to resign from their office prior to the nomination process. The scrutiny of nominations of candidates has begun. Unlike the first Thomde elections, this time elections will also be held for Thomde Thumis. Hoteliers say the minimum qualification and 6 months cooling off period for expatriates that the revised immigration rules mandate will have negative implications for the hotels. They said working experience is more important than one's qualification, and they are worried that they will face the problem of labor shortage now. The revised immigration rules and regulations came into effect over a week ago.
It says that foreign workers willing to work in a professional category must have a minimum of bachelor's degree with at least 3 years of working experience. It also states that unless otherwise specified under the relevant sections of these rules, all foreign workers shall remain outside the country for at least 6 months after completion of 3 years' stay in the country.
The hotels in Bhutan have approached the association regarding the recent immigration rule that has been enforced. So the association is trying to put up the grievances of the hotels to the government.
What is more important that we need to look into is, in order to enhance and develop these local hotels and local talents in Bhutan, including the FDI hotels, we need to have people who have experience. 10 years of experience, 12 years of experience, 15 years of experience. If we set up a criteria based on experience, saying 7 years of experience or 10 years of experience, that would be more practical, because in hotel industry, it is more of the experience that is of more value than the degree certificate.
Hoteliers are now worried that they will lose people with good working experience.
If we don't set up minimum qualification criteria, foreigners without an expertise will come and work in the country, leaving our university graduates jobless. In the past, the cooling off period was only 1 month. And if an expatriate continues to stay forever in our country, firstly, it will affect the security of the nation, and secondly, there is high chance of fronting in the business.
The unhappy hoteliers are taking the matter to the government to relook into the revised immigration rules and regulations. Sonam Sringh, BBS News.
10 cars were completely destroyed by a fire at automobile workshop in Paro on Wednesday. Another 10 were partially damaged. Firefighters were, however, able to save 9 other vehicles. All the vehicles were brought for repairs. The fire, which started at around 2:45 a.m., is suspected to have sparked from an electric short circuit. The fire also burned down many of the workshop structures and equipment. The fire was fully contained in about 2 hours before it could spread to the nearby houses. There are no reports of any casualties. The total amount of the damage is yet to be determined. His Majesty's Kido Office granted monetary welfare and extension kits to the owner. Despite the harsh cold weather, the renovation works for Yongphula Domestic Airport is progressing well. So far, around 32% of the renovation work has been complete.
The renovation works for the Yongphula Domestic Airport should be complete by October next year. The works began in April this year, but the works is little behind schedule as per the work plan.
As per the work plan, we are supposed to complete 37% of work, but now because of this high altitude problems, this weather condition, we are few percent behind the schedule, around 4%. In the morning session, vehicle getting start delay around 10 a.m. only. We started working at 10 only usually. It may hinder till March, I think. Now there is no rainfall, so we are planning to work in overtime also. So this 4% behind schedule will make up in the upcoming months.
Realignment of the half of the runway is one of the major works being carried out currently. It is also one of the most time-consuming works. The end of the runway is being realigned by cutting 12 meters deep, while the landing and takeoff point is being raised by 8 meters. The length of the airstrip is further extended by 90 meters and widened by 40 meters.
The lagi tega hebda shin la chamshim shikhagi sansamgi rauchamni da delen nalesu.
We consider minor works like construction of fencing and approach route as complete. But the most time-consuming work is the realignment of the end of runway, which we have to cut by 12 meters deep. So we are working on that now. Once it is complete, then it wouldn't take much time to blacktop the runway and other minor works, and I hope it should progress well.
The 2 hillocks located at the either end of runway have been completely removed. A new approach road to the airport is also being constructed. The Asian Development Bank is funding the 199 million Nguyetam airport renovation works. So far, around 40 million of the approved budget has been used. For Pemanamge, Tamchizam, PBS News.
The number of stroke patients has been increasing in the country annually. Apart from obesity, diabetes and other heart diseases, one of the leading causes of stroke is blood pressure.
From over 200 stroke patients last year, the number has increased to around 300 this year. Stroke is a brain attack when the blood vessels get blocked or either ruptures. Doctors say to reduce the risk of stroke, maintaining the right blood pressure is important. The normal blood pressure is 120 by 80 millimeters of mercury.
One is the heart disease, which can be treated, and if you actually control your heart disease, take the medication or do regular exercises or control the diets, that can actually control your blood pressure. And other one is which, because of diabetes or other causes, might lead to hypertension, which is called increased blood pressure. And our belief is that if you take blood pressure medication, it will affect your kidney. If you take your blood pressure medication, you have to take lifelong. I think these are the wrong informations which public have to, I think, understand.
Although stroke is common among the age group of 60 years and above, health officials say it is becoming common even among young people. The National Referral Hospital has been seeing patients suffering from stroke who are below the age of 20 years. A stroke can affect the way the body functions, such as movement and balance, vision, communication, and memory. Doctors say less than 5 grams of salt intake per day, regular exercise, and healthy diet could reduce the blood pressure, stroke, and other related diseases. Meanwhile, against the increasing number of stroke cases, the country will join the international community in observing the World Stroke Day tomorrow. Apart from creating awareness, the Health Ministry will conduct voluntary blood pressure checkup campaign at the National Referral Hospital. The day will be observed with the theme, I am women, stroke affects me. Sringzam, BBS News.
Enforcement in taking actions against wrongdoings in the civil service is weak. This was found in the recent research conducted on human resources management by the Anti-Corruption Commission and academicians.
The research found that in some cases, the ministries did not recognize the Dzongkhag's disciplinary actions against employees with discipline problems. At times, the disciplinary actions were revoked by the ministries. Such actions were attributed to lack of stringent enforcement of Bhutan Civil Service Rules and Regulations 2012. One of the executives interviewed from the civil service during the research had also agreed the problem was with implementation. According to the research, there were also inconsistencies in the administrative actions taken by the agencies against wrongdoings. Some agencies took strict actions on wrongdoings, while some were lenient.
Basically, we are recommending that the BCSR 2012, within that the section on administrative penalties, we are recommending that the section need to be further specified now. For the minor and major penalties, there should also be specific offences. So specific penalties against specific offences now.
The research recommends that from the 2 sections of Chapter 19 of BCSR, specificity was needed regarding the powers to impose a penalty to civil servants and type of petty misdemeanor which calls for retirement with or without post-service retirement. Chetan Rupchu, PBS News.
Tour guides suggested the Guides Association of Bhutan to make it compulsory for the regional tourists to hire them while in the country. As of now, tour guides say it is optional for the regional tourists to take guides along with them.
The number of regional tourists from India, Bangladesh and the Maldives visiting Bhutan are increasing. The Economic Affairs Minister Nurbu Wangchu during the last Parliament session had said over 16,000 regional tourists visited Bhutan in 2011. This year, some 88,000 of them came to the country, but not all of them hired tour guides. The guides said without them accompanying the regional tourists are hardly aware of restricted places for photography or filming. Also, being a foreigner, some even tend to forget the etiquette while visiting sacred places.
람디바 메갈레 공기 코라 가가우노 코 가치노 치님 베다 메벨라 아니로 가치루 다 람루슬루 데 토포미나.
It is essential to have guides with regional tourists because they have to be made aware on do's and don'ts while sightseeing.
람디바 메갈레 코라 파타 90에 네메갈레 다스중 가출 예바두.
They should be briefed at the point of entry, and also they should be made compulsory for these groups to have guides with them, so that guide can keep a close eye and monitor these people. Guides complain of not getting engaged, especially during the lean season. So that will also, I think, to some extent, would help keep the guides engaged and paid.
Being mindful of the opinions of guides, the president of the Guides Association of Bhutan, Garab Doji, assured guides that the issue will be taken into consideration. There are 3,000 tour guides registered with the association. Pemal Hadin, BBS News.
Unlike Paro, Thimphu and Bumtang, Samdru Jongkhar is yet to reap the benefits from tourism. The Jongkhar receives very few or no tourists at all. The people there expected many tourists during the annual Sechu, which ended recently, but it was a disappointment.
Hundreds of locals crammed the courtyard of Samdru Jongkhar Rabde during the annual festival. This unique sacred festival attracts tourists in other places, but here only a few tourists from across the border were seen.
Like other Dzongkhaks, there are not many tourists here because in Western Dzongkhaks, places are beautiful and there are nice places to stay, including facilities like good road connectivity. In Samdru Jongkhar, all the gyoks are connected with road, but it is not in a good condition. I am not saying gyoks in Samdru Jongkhar doesn't have historic places, but we don't have a proper place for tourists to stay. Another thing is Samdru Jongkhar Sechu is not very popular. We have only one lagang here.
And here comes the question of implementation of the concept of regionally balanced development. But people share their ideas.
It is much better compared to the past with various performances. If Achil Hamucham could be performed here, it would help preserve culture and also might attract tourists. In Shinkhalawari, we have so-called Achil Hamucham. If that could be performed here during the Sechu, I think more tourists will come.
Whatever it is, something definitely needs to be done to attract tourists if that is what the Dzongkhar wants. Compiled for Kilewachu in Samdru Jongkhar, Singzam, BBS News.
After more than 5 decades of drinking water problem, the 18 households of Komchi and Fangyul villages in Wangdi Phorang finally got proper drinking water supply. Until today, they have been fetching water from nearby streams.
Taps filled with water brought smiles on their faces. Locals will no longer have to spend time fetching water.
We faced huge problem in the past, but now we have water, and it is all because of our beloved kings, the Prime Minister and the local leaders. I would remain grateful to them for all times to come.
Locals
nearly left the villages because of the drinking water problem. Some might have already left for towns. But now with the availability of water, I hope it will encourage the villagers to stay back in the village, and we can definitely achieve that.
In the past, the problem of water shortage was so severe that people even lost their livestock.
I've been here for almost 50 years now, and there was no water supply then. As our country was yet to develop, we could not come up with any strategy to solve the problem. So we simply fetched water from sources available.
We depend solely on agriculture and livestock farming. During the winter, when the water sources are dry, a minimum of 10 cattle from each household died every year.
We are happy with the water supply, and now we hardly face any water problem. Whereas in the past, during important occasions, it was a huge problem with people assigned to fetch water, which wasn't enough at all.
It costs over 2 million Newton to supply water to the villages, with Dzongkha contributing about 1.8 million Newton. The project was handed over to the locals last month. Compiled for Kinzang Chile, Sringzam, BBS News.
With the opening of Gongfu Nganglam Highway to traffic in 2014, people of Lower Keng in Shemgang say it has benefited them a lot. Many shops have sprung up along the highway catering to the needs of the travelers. It is a win-win situation because everyone, locals and commuters, benefits.
Every day, about 50 vehicles, especially truckers, ply along the Gongpu Nganglam Highway. And the small businesses in Panbang, Rindibi and other places along the highway are making the most of it. Meanwhile, the truckers carrying cement for the Mangdichu project from Nganglam said the route is not only safe but consumes less time to travel.
The distance is shorter from here. We started using this route by the end of last monsoon. We carry cement to Mandichu.
Locals said once the highway connects Gelpujing, the benefits would multiply. Compiled for Pema Samdrup, Sringdama Galsen, BBS News.
About 40 cataract surgeries were performed in less than 3 days during a week-long eye camp in Samsi. Records with health officials indicate there is a rise in cataract in Samsi. Cataract is a disease in which an area of an eye becomes cloudy so that a person cannot see correctly.
Over 400 people availed themselves of the services from the eye camp at Samsi Hospital. It included cataract surgeries, which is the most common cause of vision loss over the age of 50. A team led by an eye specialist noticed a trend here that most of the cataract surgeries were matured cataracts, which is quite alarming.
Compared to the other districts where we've been operating in the east and in Pinseling, the number of cataract patients who've been coming here are quite significant, and many of them are actually quite mature, which we have not seen nowadays in the other districts. And this is probably because some of the patients here are hesitant to still come to the health centers to seek medical advice, what we call health-seeking behavior. So from our side, I feel that besides conducting the yearly camps, we need to do more advocacy.
Although surgery in this stage has increased risk of complications, the team was successful in performing the operations. However, she pointed out that people need to seek medical attention at the earliest in order to reduce the risk of complications during surgeries.
When it's really mature, half the time they'll end up with complications where the pressure in the eye goes up, or where it gets really mature and it causes the nerve to get damaged. When they come really late, even if we operate, the outcome is not very good.
Aside from cataract surgery, the team performed a vision testing in children and adults and retinotherapy for the patients who are diabetic. Eye Camp is an annual event where services are taken closer to the people. Compiled for Sonam Fencer in Samti, Sringzam, BBS News.
People of Joka Geuk in Shemgang don't want to lose the art of bamboo weaving. At this time of the year, locals are taking advantage of the extra hands of students who are on winter vacation. Considered as one of the remote Geuks in Shemgang, it is known for quality bamboo products.
Family members are busy weaving bamboo products under the warm winter sun. Even the young ones are equally involved in the thread. The locals here remain busy throughout the winter making bamboo products and earning as much as they can.
It is good for a large family, but for me, I am alone since my husband doesn't know the art. I make about 10 products in a month. I am also teaching my daughter in case she is not able to get a job after her studies. It is a good source of income. I weave about 5 bamboo products every day.
All kinds of products are made from bamboo. The most popular is bachu, which takes about 3 days to complete. It fetches them about 250 netam, but locals say it should be more.
We take most of our products to Jemgang and some to the handicraft shops in Thimphu. We supply everywhere whenever there is an order. We depend on agriculture, but this one is easy for cash income. So we want to preserve it, and we are also growing bamboo plants to continue to make bamboo products.
But with the cheap imported products available in the market, they think they need to diversify and produce quality products. Maybe this is the reason why no one has taken up making bamboo products as a full-time job. Compiled for Pema Samrup, Sringdama Galson, BBS News.
Well, that is all we have for you this week. Thank you for joining us.